Welcome to Informed Tourist, your go-to guide for making the most out of your travel experiences. This is Curtis, your traveling guru, here to help you navigate the complexities of choosing your next vacation destination. Ever wondered if a city's politics make it safer for tourists? It's a question that has sparked countless debates and discussions. The debate is everywhere. Some say democratic cities are crime-ridden, others claim Republican states are more dangerous. But what does the data actually say? But what's the truth? Is your safety really tied to red or blue leadership? Or is it more complicated than that? Forget the headlines and social media arguments. They often oversimplify the issue and can be misleading. Today we're diving into real data and surprising facts politicians don't want you to know. We'll look at crime rates, safety measures, and more. Your safety shouldn't be a political football, it should be a guarantee. Every traveler deserves to feel secure no matter where they go. Let's set the stage. Politicians like Steve Scalise blame crime on Democratic cities, while others point to higher murder rates in Republican states. But is it really that black and white? In 2020, the 25 states with the highest murder rates all voted for Trump. This statistic challenges the common narrative. So, who's right? The politician pointing at a city, or the analyst pointing at a state? The reality is often more nuanced. The answer isn't simple, and that's what makes this journey interesting. We need to look beyond the surface to understand the full picture. We're here to separate fact from fiction. By examining the data, we can uncover the real story behind city safety. Buckle up as we explore the real story behind city safety in America. We'll take you through the numbers, the myths, and the realities. The truth might just surprise you. Let's get started on this eye-opening journey. So, are blue cities dangerous, as some headlines would have you believe, with their flashing lights and bold claims about urban chaos? Or are red states the real problem, as critics sometimes argue, pointing to statistics and stories from rural America? What if the answer is neither? What if the reality is far more complicated than the simple red versus blue narrative we hear so often? A Harvard study from January 2025 took a deep dive into the numbers, analyzing 400 U.S. cities over a span of 30 years. The researchers wanted to know, does the mayor's political party actually influence crime rates in a meaningful way? After sifting through decades of data, the result was basically a shrug. The political party of a city's mayor had almost zero effect on whether crime went up or down. Blaming a mayor's party for crime is like blaming the weatherman for rain. It might feel satisfying, but it doesn't actually explain what's happening. The real drivers of crime are much deeper, rooted in economic and social forces that shape communities over generations. Things like poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity have far more impact than a politician's party affiliation. In fact, both Democratic and Republican-led cities have seen major drops in crime over the past few decades. The trend isn't about party lines. It's about broader changes in society, policing, and community investment. Politicians love to use crime as a talking point, a way to rally supporters or attack opponents. But the data tells a different, less sensational story, one that doesn't fit neatly into campaign slogans or dramatic headlines. Crime trends are slow to change, shaped by factors like poverty, jobs, education, and even housing policy. These are complex issues that can't be solved, or blamed, by a single election or a single leader. So, next time you hear a fiery speech about crime or see a dramatic news segment, remember, the facts are often less dramatic than the fiction. The real story is in the details, not the sound bites. The real question isn't whether a city is red or blue, it's about the neighborhoods you'll actually visit, the people who live there, and the unique challenges and strengths of each community. To stay safe, you need to look past politics and dig into the details. Research the neighborhoods, understand the local context, and don't let headlines shape your entire view. The truth is, in the nuance, not the news. When it comes to safety, the real answers are found in careful research, not in political spin. Here's a stat that flips the script. The 8 states with the highest murder rates in 2020 were all Republican-run. States like Mississippi, Louisiana, and Missouri top the list, while blue states like Massachusetts and Hawaii are among the safest. The narrative that Republicans are tough on crime doesn't match the data. But there's a twist. Critics say high-crime Democratic cities in red states skew the numbers. Cities like New Orleans and St. Louis are often blamed for state-level stats. The takeaway? Looking at entire states or cities is misleading. Safety isn't about state lines or city halls, it's about neighborhoods. The real story is street by street, block by block. That's where we're heading next. Let's zoom in on the blue city in a red state paradox. This phenomenon is particularly evident in cities like St. Louis, Missouri, and Jacksonville, Florida. Both cities are Democratic strongholds situated in predominantly Republican states, creating a unique political and social dynamic that influences various aspects of life, including crime rates and public perception. St. Louis, a Democratic city in Republican Missouri, has one of the nation's highest homicide rates. The city grapples with complex issues that contribute to its crime statistics, from economic disparities to historical segregation. The Gateway Arch may symbolize hope and progress, but the streets tell a different story. Is it city leadership, state policies, or something deeper? The interplay between local governance and state regulations often complicates efforts to address these issues. While city officials may implement progressive policies, they can be at odds with state-level decisions, creating a challenging environment for meaningful change. The blame game never ends. Politicians, community leaders, and residents often find themselves in a cycle of pointing fingers rather than collaborating on solutions. This constant back and forth can stall progress and leave the community feeling frustrated and divided. Jacksonville, Florida tells a similar story. A Democratic-run city in a Republican state struggling with crime. The city faces its own set of challenges, from managing rapid growth to addressing social inequalities. Despite its beautiful beaches and vibrant culture, Jacksonville's crime rates remain a concern for both residents and visitors. Both sides point fingers, but as a tourist, you just want to know if it's safe to visit. Safety is a top priority for travelers, and understanding the nuances of a city's crime statistics can help you make informed decisions. It's essential to look beyond the headlines and consider the specific areas you plan to explore. Here's the key. Cities like Jacksonville are huge, with neighborhoods ranging from very safe to very risky. The diversity within a city means that your experience can vary greatly depending on where you go. Some neighborhoods may offer a safe and enjoyable visit, while others might require more caution. Citywide crime stats lump together quiet suburbs and troubled areas. This aggregation can paint an inaccurate picture of the overall safety of a city. By breaking down the data and focusing on specific neighborhoods, you can get a clearer understanding of where the risks are and how to avoid them. Blaming the mayor's party is a massive oversimplification. Crime is a multifaceted issue, influenced by a range of factors, including economic conditions, social services, and community engagement. Effective solutions require a collaborative approach that transcends political affiliations. Crime is hyper-local, shaped by decades of history and economics. Understanding the historical context of a neighborhood can provide insights into its current challenges and opportunities for improvement. Economic investment and community development play crucial roles in transforming these areas. For travelers, this is good news. You don't have to avoid a whole city because of a headline. By doing a bit of research and planning, you can enjoy the best that a city has to offer while minimizing risks. Focus on well-known attractions and stay informed about the areas you visit. Just be a smarter traveler and know where to go. Utilize resources like local guides, travel forums, and crime maps to plan your itinerary. Being aware of your surroundings and taking basic safety precautions can go a long way in ensuring a pleasant trip. Research neighborhoods, not just cities. Each neighborhood has its own character and safety profile. By focusing on specific areas, you can tailor your travel experience to match your interests and comfort level. The political party in charge is often just along for the ride. While leadership can influence policy, the root causes of crime are deeply embedded in the social and economic fabric of a city. Long-term solutions require addressing these underlying issues. Your experience depends on where you choose to spend your time. By selecting safe and vibrant neighborhoods, you can enjoy the cultural and recreational offerings of a city without undue worry. Local cuisine, entertainment, and attractions can provide a memorable experience. Let's see how this plays out in other cities. The dynamics of crime and safety are not unique to St. Louis and Jacksonville. By examining other cities, we can gain a broader understanding of the factors at play and how different communities are addressing these challenges. Now let's compare two blue cities with very different stories. Boston, deep blue and progressive, saw an 82% drop in homicides in early 2024, a record low. It proves democratic cities can be exceptionally safe. Meanwhile, Portland, Oregon became a flashpoint for protests and political clashes. Despite the chaos, homicides in Portland dropped 51% in early 2024. How can a city be both a political storm and statistically safer? It shows that safety is complicated. There's a difference between feeling safe and being safe. For tourists, both matter crime stats and the city's current vibe. Check crime data, but also pay attention to current events. Is the city in the middle of protests or unrest? Both Boston and Portland show that political climate and safety stats don't always match. As a traveler, look at both the numbers and the news. Context is as important as statistics. Know the vibe before you go. That's how you travel smart. Why do millions feel safe at Orlando's theme parks even though the city's crime rate is high? The answer? The tourist bubble. Cities that rely on tourism invest heavily in keeping tourist zones safe. Disney World and hotel districts are among the most policed and surveilled places anywhere. The overall city crime rate is almost irrelevant to tourists. Most crime happens in residential neighborhoods, not tourist hotspots. Cities pour resources into lighting, patrols, and security where visitors go. The tourist bubble is real, know where it begins and ends. Research neighborhoods before booking your hotel. A cheaper hotel outside the bubble might mean less security. Plan to stay within well-patrolled areas, especially at night. Use rideshares, stick to main streets, and be aware of your surroundings. The tourist bubble is your friend, use it wisely. The red versus blue city safety debate, mostly political theater. What really matters is your travel strategy. Here's your real-world safety checklist. First, research neighborhoods before booking. Use Google Maps, Street View, and local forums. Citywide stats are less useful than block-by-block info. Second, listen to locals. Ask hotel staff or hosts about areas to avoid. Their advice is more current than any guidebook. Third, practice universal street smarts. Don't flash valuables, keep your phone secure, and stay aware in crowds. At night, stick to busy, well-lit streets or use rideshares. These habits work everywhere from Paris, Texas to Paris, France. Safety isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Smart planning beats political labels every time. Be a confident, informed traveler. Let's end on a high note. One of America's safest big cities for tourists isn't what you'd expect. It's Honolulu, Hawaii, a vibrant, democratic-run city. Honolulu proves political labels mean little when it comes to safety. The secret? Hawaii's economy depends on tourism, so the city invests heavily in keeping visitors safe. Waikiki and tourist areas have strong police presence and great infrastructure. Violent crime is remarkably low for a city its size. Of course, petty crime exists, watch your bag and rental car, but the lesson is clear. Cities that prioritize tourism create safer environments. The safest cities aren't red or blue, they're pro-tourism. Next time you plan a trip, ask how much the city relies on tourism. That tells you more about safety than politics ever will. Choose cities that invest in your experience. So what's the final verdict? Are Republican or Democratic cities safer for tourists? The truth, the question itself is flawed. Your safety isn't about politics, it's about preparation. Blaming crime on a party is a distraction from real solutions. As an informed tourist, you know better. Your safety depends on your research, your choices, and your awareness. Choose the right neighborhood, not the right party. Understand the tourist bubble and use it. Practice street smarts everywhere you go. The safest cities are those that invest in keeping visitors safe, regardless of politics. Don't let headlines or political noise stop you from exploring. The world is full of amazing cities. Go see them, but go smartly. Smart travel is safe travel, period. Now go book that trip. Thanks for watching Informed Tourist. Like and subscribe.